It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Checking in here on Tuesday, December 3rd. It is 1:41 p.m. Hour and 19 minutes remain in the trading day. The normal hour is trading day. Coming to you from the Fortress of Solitude Studios, Farm Fields of Valparaiso, Indiana. And I was just reviewing a few things here. Thought I wanted to share with you real quick. But if you've watched the channel for a while, I was head over heels in love with options trading for at least the first year. I think I've been on this a YouTube with this particular channel for how long? I think it'll be 2 years, maybe in February. I'll have to look at that, but it's less than 2 years, but way more than one. And in that first year, I was head over heels in love with options trading. And then probably for the last, most of 2024, I've fallen in love with swing trading. So I was looking at some of the recent trades and how fortunate that I have been, AKA lucky. You know, the old blind squirrel trades where even a blind squirrel from time to time can find some nuts. But if you look from the end of October and then we look at the green over here, we've had a nice run. I mean, if you look through here, we had, $40. Great. I get to have a McFlurry for lunch. 440, 9250, 10,000 and $63,741. And this is what I wanted to unload prior to the election, just because I felt that if it was an election of uncertainty, then gold and silver would probably prevail. But if it was a swift decision and we had a new president right away, then uncertainty would go away, which would harm gold and silver. So I thought it'd be fine to just be neutral. So I even sold for a mighty loss on the GDXU. So don't think I've forgotten about you, GDXU. You still owe me over 10 grand and I'm coming for it soon. Then we got another lunch money here on the biddy, 2 grand on the TMF. Then you see a bunch of green here, which makes me feel very nice into November. And in November, here's a bunch of greens. Here's our $85,380 on the AGQ, which I would have sold on the 29th here when AGQ was $47 a share. So I would have made around what, 3,000 more bucks, right? Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, see, I sold at 43.37 and it was at 47. So let's just say it was $3 a share, 17,000 shares. That's carried to one, like 51,000 extra dollars. That was essentially lost because these shares were covered up. All of them, all 17,000 were covered up with covered calls. So it was like $44 strike covered calls, and it was just when it was all going down, it was too expensive to buy my way out of them. So I let them expire worthless because it went from $47 all the way down to under 44, which is a strike price. Then I just pulled the trigger, sold those, put the $85,000 into my Holly Hobby Velcro wallet, and was just fine with it. But that is another reminder of how swing trading is much more appealing to me at the time, at this moment, much more appealing to me than selling options. Although I would be very interested in ramping up or getting back into selling puts on positions that are, they have a minor down day, but overall, I'm looking for huge potential, which would be gold and silver related stocks and Bitcoin as well. Oil, you'll see I had a 1 day trade on oil. Oil still got me befuddled. So we'll talk about that. But, those are my four horsemen of hope: gold, silver, oil, and Bitcoin. And right now, three out of the four, I'm very excited about. But we just keep going through here. We're greening up, looking good. Had a loss on the BitX. So Bitcoin does owe me some money. I collected some of that back today because I was stopped out on my short Bitcoin position, but I did get stopped out in the profit. And we'll go over the Bitcoin chart because I was at the gym when I would have pulled the trigger and sold those shorts, but I was just minding my own business, doing some chest, shoulders, triceps. And then since that 37.20, what do we have? We've got, no, I think we still got a big one coming, don't we? Yeah. Green, 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 green. And then we had the big loss on Soxel. It socked me for almost $7,400. And then since then, we've had a 27.40, a 15,357. Hello. 120. And then just recently had a nice, I think it was a 2-day trade on Boyle, 54.13. Started to get into the bitty, and had a short move yesterday. I bought 1,000 shares. I should have bought more. I was going to kind of tranche my way in, but it didn't continue to go down, which is what I typically get stuck doing, is buying it on the way down. But I was only able to get 1,000 shares, and I thought it looked um, pretty toppy as far as the moment was concerned. I think I'm wrong so far, though. We'll look at it. In fact, I'll look at it right now. Where is UCO trading? It is at 26.37. So maybe I did luck out and get a local top at 26.46. Ended up with $1,380 in profit, and then I went back in on these leaps. I purchased 3 more rounds of leaps. 27 strike on the SLV. These are January of 26. So actually, 2 of these 3 are leaps. Paid $47,500. Went added another 100 contracts to the 26 strike. Spent 52,000 for that, and then this is a kind of a front contract, which is just into January on the SILJ, which is the Silver Juniors ETF. Got $11 call strike on those, spent $13,500. And then I did buy 4,000 shares of Boyle today, and currently I'm getting cooked. No pun intended, but yes, pun intended. So I'm 4,000 shares into Boyle with an average of 38.54, and it's currently trading at 38.05. Wow, wow, wow. But I still feel very confident. Luckily, though, and if you were watching the channel and watched the video yesterday, luckily I didn't hit I had a 41.50 limit order up, and I missed it because Boyle had a nice move from that low yesterday, but overnight and into this morning, Boyle, which is the aggressive version of natural gas, is taking it on the chin. But I still feel pretty confident. I might even go one more tranche, or maybe I got a couple thousand shares in Stacy's account. Maybe I'll add another 1,000 to hers instead of mine. That'll put me at 4,000 shares and her at 3,000. And then there's the biddy. I didn't have my limit sell order on this morning, which I would have, because I would have made probably $2,400 instead of 1,640. I was stopped out 4,000 shares at 23.73 for a profit of 1,640. So that puts me at, out of the last 34 swing trades, I got 31 wins and 3 losses. I haven't added up the win totals compared to the losses, just off the top of my head. Boop, boop, boop. I'd say the losses are probably in the 17, probably around 20,000 in losses, but the wins are probably 200,000 ish, or would it be that high? I'll add it up for you. Have it in the video tomorrow. But that's where my mindset has been for most of this year, has been more on the swing trade, much more on the swing trading than on the options. But let's take a look. Take a look at me now. Okay, so that qualifies. That qualifies as an all-time high, 2.529 on this 12/3, December 3rd of 20 and the 24, recorded the all-time high. We're going to get some fluctuations, probably even as we're looking at this, because of those leaps and those call options. They can fluctuate widely in a short amount of time. As you can see, $500 underwater on that new call option, the junior silver miners, almost 10,000 down on my 245 strike GLDs, $520 down on my 240 strike GLDs, 4,100 up on 200 contracts of the 26 strike SLVs, silver ETF, and down 2,900 on the $27 strike. Not concerned with a single one on here. In fact, these are going to make a boatload of money. Um, and any dip, I would imagine, because I feel that we're going to have an amazing 2025 in precious metals. So I'll be looking to add to both my AGQs. I'm going to get back into the GDXU once my 30 days wash rule is up. Because GDX is probably up. GDXU is probably big today. Yeah, 8.27%, but still far under where I sold it. And I sold it at a huge loss, if you remember. And I think I sold at 44. Hello. So I would have really been taken to the cleaners if I would have hung on to that instead of just taking the kick to the cookie bag when I did. Okay, what else? AGQ, we only have 2 positions on the board because I did get stopped out of the biddy, as you saw, and also sold off the UCO, which is a 2 times bull on US oil. AGQ's got 3,000 shares. I'd love to have more, way more, and I'll be looking to dip buy on that as well. Up 67.50 in just a few days on that, and then this is where Boyle's trying to cook me, but it's not going to get away with it. So that will probably be, no, I guess it's only an hour until close. I was going to say that might be in profit before the end of the day, but I would imagine overnight and into tomorrow we should be seeing some profit going on there. I mean, come on, it's natural gas. We're going into winter. Here is silver, and it's looking pretty good. I mean, we're gonna have to move these a bit because let's just move this over. Let's call this a 3. It's working on its 3 here, and then this 5 over here with a minimum, I'd say 32 on this move. Hopefully much more. Hopefully it just rocket ships, but targeting 32 on the next local high, and it's playing right along. You see me put these waves in place. Gold, it's meandering a bit, but um, it's not invalidated, not even close, bud. So we'll be looking for a big push here. We'll see. This could be meandering sideways for months. For months, I tell you, but it could begin to show itself as soon as tomorrow. Bitcoin, and we talked about this yesterday. I was looking for a movement into a 93 handle. Playback yesterday's video. We had these trend lines up. I was looking for it to touch and maybe push through just into that 93 handle. It did exactly that, yet I wasn't paying attention. Otherwise, that biddy play would have been a nice little, maybe up to $1,000 more into my skinny jeans. But it looks like I may have still sold at a good price. If Bitcoin revisits this trend line, then I'd be looking long. If I would have been paying attention, I would have sold my short here and went long at the same time. Woohoo! Because it had a nice reversal there. It could touch again, otherwise it's going back up and through this upper trend line in this channel. That's what I'm saying. Oil, same thing. I said, hey, I'm looking for it to touch that upper trend line. We got it, and I got out of the UCO. Doesn't mean I'm right, like long term. It could turn around even today, but at the moment, it was right because you can see where I bought yesterday at 25.08, had a huge gap up pre-market overnight, and then I sold near the top. I was at 26.46. It got as high as 26.53. It went all the way down to 26.28, but then it did pop back up to 26.52. So a little double top action there on the micro. But I think we got out at a good number. Either way, a profit's a profit, right? What else you got up here? Oh, yeah, I had this up for the natural gas. Because you never want to continue to see lower lows, but that's also part of how you catch a bottom, or at least come close to catching a bottom. I have the warning Will Rogers sign up here, like at $2.99, and it got all the way to what, like $3.02. You can see it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas because I see a little green candle there. So it's definitely showing signs of bottoming. If we look at boil, is boil up here? It is. I don't have it. Now I got the 1 hour up, so that's not going to show it, but it's still playing right along with the projection. I don't want it to go any lower and touch this, but it easily could. But I'll be shaking in my boots around that time. But I may add another 1,000 to Stacy's cache of shares of Boyle. But again, don't mess around with these leveraged unless you're a lunatic like me. But I'm looking for a big payout if this count is correct. And what would prove it? Well, you got to go all the way up here and take out this 3. That's like $54. Look at the move. Look at the meat on the bone there. But also, they'll call natural gas and especially Boyle, the Widowmaker, because of how quickly it can move and just take you right out. AKA Natty. So we got the Natty up there. Root me on, cheer me on. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video and this channel with a lovable friend, and I will see you in the next video.